No, it's been a long and taxing winter. I think I deserve a break. Maybe I should drink some water, punch a wall, eat some carpet, drink some cherry juice. Yup. I don't know what the freak that intro was, but anyway, Shercolt Homes by Brooke the Book Horse. New audio drama never reacted to. Excitement, please. Yes to go. Yeah, yes. Please hit the. I will not subscribe. I'm kidding. Or am I?
The Equestrian Broadcasting System and its affiliates presents Brooke the Book Horse and the Bon Bon Theatre Company on the air in the Adventures of Shercolt Homes by Sir Cantor Conan Doyle.
Interesting. Ooh. Got the violin. It's doing stuff. It's kind of gaming right now. Alright, everybody put in your guesses. Who's gonna be the first one to die? I'm guessing Adeline. I think Adeline's gonna be the first one to die.
It was the 910th year of Celestia's reign when I earned my doctorate of medicine from West Manhattan University.
Only
After completing my
910?
studies, I was dispatched with the Royal Guard as an army doctor. The campaign through Equestria was brought to many honors, but soon the Griffin War began. The fighting between Griffin and Equestria began in True in the year 915, but I was removed from the trenches in 914 after taking a rogue enchantment from a unicorn comrade of mine. Accidentally, of course, but it shattered the bone in my right foreleg, leaving me permanently out of commission. I recovered for 6 months, and the bone was nearly healed when I was struck down with severe illness called mud fever, which primarily affects the skin, and was caused by my prolonged stay in the trenches and taking hold
Man,
of
this
my
man's
health
been through a
from
lot.
the numerous surgeries I had to endure. My health irreparably ruined, I was honorably retired with a budget of 100 pounds. After nearly a year, I recovered, but my health was still critically fragile and my nerves had suffered greatly as well. I retired to Canterlot, my childhood home, thinking that I could get lost completely in the large city and forget the war that was then still raging on.
You can never forget the war. War hardens the heart.
Schultzen! Dr. von Schultzen, is that you?
Nah, it's actually
Whatever have you been
phone
doing with
guy.
yourself? Your coat is faded. I've been in Griffinstone. I was just retired from Her Highness's Royal Guard. You were a guard? My word, no. I was a doctor for the guard. Sweet Celestia, were you in the trenches? I'd rather not discuss it, in all honesty. Right, of course. Well, what are you up to now? Looking for an apartment, trying to solve the problem of whether or not it's possible to get a good room for life.
I've lived in a couple apartments. Apartments are kind of chill. Like, if you get, like, the right apartment, oh, it is so comfortable. Like, oh, just, yes. I've lived in, like, 2 apartments so far in my life. One of them was great. The other one was just kind of, it was alright, but, you know, you got used to it. You got comfy with it, you know? I have good memories with apartments. They got that cozy feel to it. I like that.
100 bits. That's strange. What is? You are the second pony to say those exact words to me today. Oh? Who was the first? A student who was working at the chemical laboratory in Canterlot General. He was telling me today that he'd found the perfect apartment, but couldn't find a stallion who would go halves with him. Lose Goddess! If he needs someone to share the rooms and half the bits, I am his stallion. With my nerves, I would prefer that to living alone. Well, you don't know Mr. Holmes yet. You may not prefer him to loneliness. Is there something against him? I didn't say that. He's just queer. He's a decent stallion. If he's studying in the hospital, then it's safe to assume...
Did you say weird, or...?
Yeah, I don't think so. He's a first-class chemist, and he's a genius of anatomy. But as far as I know, he's never taken
I'm
any
assuming
medical courses.
I'm assuming he
He's
said
not studying
weird.
for any particular degree, I don't think. But he is brilliant. You've never asked him what he's going in for. It's impossible to get him to give you any information at all, but he can read ponies like books. I'd like to meet
I
him.
could read
I'd like to
people
learn with
like
somebody
books.
studious and
Probably.
quiet. I'm not well enough yet for any excitement. He's sure to.
Listen, I'm gonna read you. I'm gonna read you like a book. You're thinking of lots and lots of things. Your mind is filled with blocks, many blocks, some alphabetized, some edible, and some a little bit inappropriate for this video. Please get out of here. Please leave the video.
Sure to be at the lab. He either avoids the place for weeks or stays there morning, afternoon, and night for weeks. Come on.
Laboratory. I'm Scottish now.
I must say, this place
I'm not
has changed
Scottish now.
tremendously since I was last here. Yes, they've done some renovating. The lab is right through this door. But please, don't be alarmed at whatever he's doing. You know, Sternherd, the way you talk about him sounds like you were trying to pawn him off on some pony else. What's so bad about him? He's a very scientific pony, but sometimes it borders on cold-bloodedness. I can imagine him slipping a friend a new drug to test on him. Not out of malevolence, you see, but just
So
out of the
he's a
spirit of discovery,
murderer.
to have an accurate idea of its effects. Though, if I'm being fair to him, I think he's just as likely to take it himself with the same level of excitement. He has a passion for definite and exact knowledge. Well, he's passionate then. But the quest
Wait a
for
minute.
knowledge is admirable enough. Yes, but it can go too far. The other day I saw him. He was boxing with the corpses. Boxing? With
Boxing with the corpses.
Beating them to see how long after death bruises can be inflicted on a pony. Are you certain?
Come on, man. Let's go. Come on. You can get up, man. Come on. Come on.
But heaven knows
Come on,
it's his
dude.
professional
Come on.
way. Anyway, you must form your own impression of him. Are you ready? With that introduction?
Is it Dr. Hooves? Come on. Is it my man? Is it one of my mans? Come on. Dr. Hooves. Oh. This is Bumblebee Stewart. Yeah, that's your name now. You're Bumblebee Stewart.
Shercolt, are ye busy?
Yes! I've done it! Stanherd, I'm glad you were here to see it. I've done it!
Another scientific breakthrough, I trust.
I've
Dude,
created a
Bumblebee
serum
Stewart's
that will
gonna
detect
die.
the hemoglobin in blood, and
He
nothing
has that
else.
energy.
This will redefine how we work.
Dr. Trotson? Mr. Shercolt Homes.
Oh, of course. You brought a guest, and a veteran at that. Where are my manners?
Wait, Mr.
I have the
Hudson.
greatest of respect for
There's
our
a
guard
company
and
with the
doctors.
bee that's
Pleasure
named
to meet you.
Hudson.
How was your journey back from Griffinstone?
How did you know that I had been in Griffinstone?
Never mind. The hemoglobin is what we need to focus on. I'm sure as a doctor you understand the significance.
Well, it is interesting, but I'm unsure how it would benefit medical work.
It's highly practical, medical, legal work. This test will allow us to
yes,
check for blood stains
legal.
on ponies' coats when they are suspected of murder, or in carpets after they've been cleaned. It's brilliant.
Mr. Holmes, your hoof is bandaged. Do you test this using your own blood?
Why, of course, I wouldn't ask Stanherd.
Hoof is bandage. Hoof is bandage. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If I know these mystery kind of thingies, murder mystery kind of thingies, that bandage, that bandage is going to be important for later in the story. Just like that ham in Invader Zim.
Thanks, Celestia.
The old methods of blood detection spells only work if the blood is a few hours old. But with this, we can test materials even weeks later. I'm certain if we discovered this earlier, many ponies would have been executed for their crimes. So many cases hinge on that. A pony's clothes are examined and we find brownish stains on them. Perhaps it's dry blood, but then again, it could be
Brownish.
fruit or rust. But now we can test it reliably.
Rust on
The
clothes?
Shercolt Holmes test.
My little clothes, you know, they're getting a
It'll
little
be
rusty.
On a showroom with a pony who has changed criminal science
I'm
forever.
starting to decay.
Ah, that's why you're here. Well, in that case, it truly is a pleasure. And I apologize for shaking your hoof with my left, because of my cut. I know that it was your left foreleg that was injured.
Now, how would you know that, Mr. Holmes?
Later. I have my eye on a room in Baker Street, downtown. I smoke, is that all right with you?
I smoke cigars.
Excellent. I smoke pipes. I have
I
many
I, I,
chemicals and
s-
often
I
run
smoke
experiments.
bubbles
Let me see. What else might
and
annoy
grape
you? I get
juice.
depressed, often, and barely speak. I also read ferociously and leave books scattered around all over the place. I'm extremely messy. What are your shortcomings? I think it best for two ponies to know the worst of each other if they are going to share a home.
Well, I
What's
don't
the
like
worst
arguments
of
and loud
me?
noises because of my nerves. I am up and down all night, I eat far too much, and I've been extremely lazy since getting back from the war.
Oh, would you include violin playing as a loud noise?
A well played violin is a treat for Celestia herself. A
True.
badly played one deserves banishment.
Damn.
Then we shall
Oh.
get along fine. I'll meet
Oh.
you tomorrow at noon to settle everything. The address is 221B Baker
So
Street.
if I
I'll see you
play
there,
a
my dear
bad
doctor.
violin, am I just gone? Am I just out of here? Oh no. What if I play any bad instrument? God, no.
Then,
Sophomore
with two
year is coming
respectable
back.
rooms at Baker Street.
No.
The floor for rent held 2 comfortable bedrooms and a large living room with 3 large mismatching chairs and a warm fireplace. There
I
were
can't
many
go
empty
back to
bookshelves, which
jail.
made my companion smile, seemingly dreaming of the possibilities. We immediately settled on the terms, and with both of us paying 55 bits a month, the apartment became our new home. We spent several days crowding our possessions into the place and settling boundaries. I would take the writing desk in front of one of the 3 large windows, while Mr. Holmes would take the large reading desk as a chemistry table. The larger of the 3 chairs he took, as I preferred the medium one with more support. We began life together, breakfasting and dining around the small table in our living room, and generally spending most of our time together in silence, except for a few kindly words such as,
Doctor, will you pass me that parchment, please?
or,
Doctor, please have the fire going when I get back. There's a good chap.
all was quiet and well. Holmes was not a difficult pony to live with at all. He was set in his ways, but very personable, if a little quiet. He would go to bed at 10 every night and rise at
Okay,
7 in the
I'm
morning.
starting to like this.
Sometimes he would spend his days at the lab, and other days he would walk Canterlot, going from the highest class end of town to the very lowest slum. Some days he would sit at his chemical table for hours, swirling tubes and glasses and mixing chemicals. Nothing
Yeah.
would stop him most days. Other days he would spend the whole day on the sofa, staring off into the fireplace, doing nothing, saying nothing,
Thinking.
barely eating. On those
Hmm.
occasions, I often wondered if he was addicted to some form of narcotic that left him in such a state. But the rest of
Iconic.
his life was far too well tempered
I don't
and
know what that
clean
is.
for such a suspicion to take me very far. Perhaps I am simply a busybody, as I had little purpose in life, a young stallion, crippled, discharged from battle, and without a friend in the world. But I must admit, this pony left me terribly curious.
So, how's the grenade in the
How was your
background
egg,
doing?
Doctor? Mrs. Button asked me how you take yours, and I hadn't the slightest idea.
Over medium, preferably, but this is fine.
Well, Doctor, would it greatly bother you if I were to ask for the use of the sitting room for an hour? I apologize for the inconvenience, but you see,
For an
I have a
hour.
client
It's not
coming
too
in to
much.
see me this afternoon, and they expect me to keep their words in the strictest confidence.
Certainly. Just tell me when
What
they
do you
arrive, and I will
mean,
just wait in
Bumblebee
my room for a
Stewart?
while.
Thank you so much, my dear Doctor. Again, I apologize for the inconvenience.
It is no trouble
Ain't
at
my
all.
doctor. Man, I would love to eat some of Applejack's
Mr. Holmes,
treats,
have you read this article in the paper?
like apple fritters.
From a drop of water, a logician could infer the possibility of an ocean without having seen one. So our life is a great chain, the nature of which is known whenever we are shown a single link of it.
Don't you find that intriguing?
I think his deductions are a little far-fetched. The writer claims that from a stallion's expression, a twitch of a muscle, or a glance of an eye, he could tell his innermost thoughts. I think it's nonsense. I'd bet 1,000 bits he couldn't guess the jobs of everyone on that train, like he claims to be able to.
You'd lose your money. I wrote that article myself.
You wrote it.
Whoa,
Well, I didn't mean
oh.
to sound insulting.
No, I understand. Many ponies think I'm magic or a fraudster. I'm used to that.
Well, I don't think... Isn't it rather a grand leap of logic to think you can guess a pony's job based on their horseshoes?
No, in fact, I depend on my ability to do just that in my work.
And what is your work? I've been wondering for weeks.
I am a consulting detective.
Oh, what is your work?
When
Just twitch
detectives
your
or
eyebrow and
Canterlot
you find
police
out.
force gets stuck, they come to me, and I give them a nudge in the right direction, for a fee, of course.
You mean ponies, or
How
some weird
how much
detail
is
of a
the
criminal
fee?
case? Can't figure it out. But you can do so from the comfort of your armchair.
Most of the time. Though there are some occasions I get a case of interest and go off to investigate it. That's why I often wander the city.
So then, why have you never used those skills on me?
I did when we first met, remember? I told you
Oh,
that you had just come back from Griffinstone and that your leg had been injured.
You must have been
it's
told by some pony.
Would you
only
like
two
to know how
things
I
though. You can't predict that I ate ice cream earlier
You wear your
today.
hair brushed down, but you have the
Ha!
distinct mane of a guard. Your
Idiot!
fetlocks aren't
I
groomed too
actually had
finely,
no ice cream
so I know
today.
that you are not a guard at the castle. Your coat looks merely faded, but a trained eye can tell that your coat has been stained, suggesting that you
Ah,
have received
stained.
grey sedimentary
Stain
dirt from
maker.
Griffinstone, which, when wet, has the distinct habit of bleaching the fur of one's coat. That led me to presume that you had been in the trenches and have been injured and sent home. This was confirmed by the fact that you hold your left front leg in a slightly awkward position. You do this to hide your limb. Therefore, you are a soldier sent home because of an injury. And since the only scarring visible is clearly surgical, I imagine it was friendly fire from a unicorn.
That's amazing.
Dang.
But you know I was a doctor.
Can you tell my life
Stanhope
story?
introduced you as Dr. Trotson.
From like
Right, of course. Well, when you spell it all
my
out, it sounds
like
simple enough.
slightly ripped
It
white
is all
T-shirt?
simple, my doctor. But you don't have to take my word for it. Come over here and look out the window.
That old stallion over there, with the blue envelope, looking at the house numbers.
You mean the retired sergeant of the guard?
Well, of course you can make willy-nilly guesses when I can't verify it.
He's looking for me to deliver that letter. You can ask him when he comes in.
How do you know he... My word, here he comes.
Wow. Don't knock in my left ear.
Mr. Shercolt Holmes, I have a letter for you. Thank you. Here's your tip.
Excuse me, what is your trade?
Mail pony, of course.
What were you before this?
I was sergeant of the guard, sir. I just do this now to supplement my pension check.
How in Equestria did you know that?
What?
That he was retired sergeant?
For the love of... I'm sorry, Doctor. Forgive my impatience. You broke my train of thought.
He's
It
like
is
he's
this
got like
simple.
the pinky
He
sense
has
for
the mandatory
jobs.
sideburns worn by the sergeants of the guard in 875. Judging by his age, he would have been in his 30s at the time. Those sideburns have never been fashionable, so I assumed as much from that. His cutie mark being a sergeant.
I unfortunately have sideburns.
I'll be damned.
I grow too much.
I say, my dear doctor, read this. Aloud. I want to see your reaction.
My dear
Reaction?
Shercolt Holmes, I would like you
That's
to
what I'm
come
doing.
downtown to assist me with a case. I think it should pique your interest. We found a dead man in an abandoned home. There's no evidence of how he died. There are marks of blood in the room, but he has no wounds on his body. Come any time before 12, and you will find me there. If you cannot come, I'll send you details.
I feel like there should be more information than that. Like, maybe even a murder weapon. There's no murder. We don't know the murder weapon yet. And no wounds. It's kind of interesting.
I would appreciate your opinion greatly. Yours faithfully, Inspector Booksmart.
Inspector Booksmart is a fantastic detective. She and Detective Deus are the treasures of the Canterlot police force. Most detectives these days are so unimaginative and often form conclusions before they have all of the facts. But Booksmart and Deus are highly intelligent mares, if slightly conventional. The fun will come if they are working together. They are extremely jealous of each other.
We
So,
are fine.
Are you coming?
Life
wants me to
is
come along?
done.
Only if you're interested and have nothing
Gotta
better
make
to
the
do.
most of it. Make
Absolutely.
the most of it. All right, give me some weird and
You've barely said a
interesting.
word the whole way here, Mr. Holmes.
Don't you have any theories?
I have no information. I can't
Who?
make
Where's the
bricks
death?
without clay, Doctor.
Who's gonna die?
What are you doing now? It's not very orthodox to be crawling around on the ground, Mr. Holmes.
Do you see this?
What?
Hoof print. Hoofy
But
print.
no police carriage. And furthermore, these are the marks of a cab.
Was that important?
Well, it's an abandoned house, according to Booksmart. So who would come here in a cab? Ah, Inspector Booksmart, pleasure to see you.
Mr. Holmes?
This is
Are
my
you Brooke the book course?
Dr. Trotson.
I'm kidding, but I feel like you could be
Well,
Brooke.
here's the body. Age 35, unicorn male. ID showed it to be Black Spade from Baltimore.
I've never seen anything like it. He
What's your ID? Black Spade.
Quite. You are sure there's no wound? Then the blood must belong to some pony else. Probably the murderer.
Any ideas?
The coroner can take him now.
Dude, Stuart.
Mr. Holmes,
Stuart's
Black
gonna have
Spade
something to
had a ring
do.
on. It just fell out. Look.
It's
The
a
client.
female unicorn's wedding ring. Was a mare here?
What did you find in his pockets?
It's all here. A watch, a chain, a handkerchief, and a book whose cover page says it's owned by Mr. Earth Stinger. 7 bits and 2 letters.
Letters?
Yes, from the pony called Earth Stinger, the owner of the book. They are both from
Earth
the Horseshoe
Stinger.
Bay steamship
Stain
near
maker.
Baltimore. I thought it was clear that he was about to return to Baltimore.
Imagine
Ship
making
to
juice
a
stains and just
Have
stains
you
in
inquired
general.
about the identity of this Earth Stinger?
We sent some telegrams to Baltimore, yes.
And you didn't ask for any specific points on any of the bizarre circumstances of this case?
No, I asked about Black Spade and for information on this Earth Stinger character.
There are a number of things you could have.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Booksmart.
Yes, Doctor.
Look at this.
What am I looking at?
C-H-E.
Written in blood.
Rake?
What does it mean?
He must have been trying to write the word Rachel and been disturbed before he could finish.
Oh,
Murderer must have
Rachel.
written it.
Oh, it's in the background.
Come now, Holmes. What's so funny?
I'm sorry. I agree that it was written by the other fellow in the room, but let's examine the room properly before we jump to any conclusions.
Damn. Why do you gotta laugh like that then? Jeez.
You see this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because we shouldn't jump to conclusions, and by we, I mean you. You really messed up there. Jumping to conclusions like that. Idiot.
This dust.
Yes?
This is cigar ash.
So what?
Suspects? Stewart? Yeah, but there's cigar ash, so it probably isn't Stewart.
All right, ma'am.
Even though he
I
smokes.
think I have what I need here.
So, what do you think?
I think I need to speak to the pony who found the body.
Certainly. Constable Bag.
Who found the body?
Mr. Holmes wants to talk to you.
Yes, Inspector?
I would like to hear exactly how you found the body of this stallion.
Well, Mr. Holmes, I was walking the Lunar Gardens district on my beat when I noticed a light on in this home. I knew the street to be abandoned because these are summer homes that aren't typically rented out this time of year. I went to knock just to check if any pony was home.
This reminds me of
Well,
Ace
the door was
Attorney.
open. I went in and found him here.
That was it.
Yes.
There was no one in the building.
No, sir.
Was there any pony in the street?
No pony.
Dude, I am an uncomfortable chimpo right now.
Well, there was a drunkard and I told him to scram. He was too drunk to be our pony. He positively reeked of alcohol.
Ah.
Well, I think I have all I need.
Mr. Holmes, have you no conclusions to offer me?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I wouldn't dream of stealing the credit from you, Booksmart. You know by now how this works. But I do need to follow.
I can like go underneath the table
Which
now.
leads?
I can't say.
I'm on the floor,
Maybe
guys.
nothing yet. But may I keep this ring?
if it will help.
I'm
I'll
gonna
set you
sell
on
it.
the right path and follow my own leads.
I'm gonna sell it for
The
money.
stallion you are looking for is 4 feet tall, 3.5 feet long, light orange, and has a frizzy gray mane.
Dude,
He's
what-
between
what-
18 and 25 years old.
Wait, what?
Or, at least, he lives a moderately cheap life. He has disproportionately small feet.
Wait,
He
what?
just had his right
What?
foreleg's horseshoe replaced. All his horseshoes are cheap athletic shoes. He probably had it replaced this week, so you can ask around the local shoe shop.
Okay, so I didn't think we would be coming across a demon in this audio drama. Shercolt, man, how? No, actually, how? No, I refuse. I refuse to. Yes, I tasted his dust particle, and apparently he's 5'5". He has mini cats. He's four-legged, but his right leg's a little bit wonky today. He's had 15 colds in the whole entire lifespan of his life. He's had 2 children, 3 wives, and a whole heck of a lot of cupcakes in the belly last night. He ate a lot of them, and I'm just getting started. Like, what? How?
If they have seen a pony of this description, he may have paid with credit. He arrived with a cab and was smoking a Baltimore Secret brand cigar.
I say, that's a lot to go on. But how did he die if there's no wounds?
You guys smoke too much.
He must have been forced to take
I
it.
smoke bubbles too much.
Forcing someone to take poison would be almost impossible. Who would voluntarily do that?
I
Suicidal ponies,
mean,
for one. Oh, and one more thing.
chemistry,
Yes?
learning.
The word rock is a word in Germanian for revenge. Don't waste your time on the Rachel theory.
Rock.
Mr. Holmes, how did you know all that? I know you've proven to me that you can deduce a lot from little trifles, but that's a lot. Can you really be certain?
There's no room for error, Doctor.
So how did you know?
Well, look down at your feet. The hoof prints and the dust around the body. The right foreleg has left a clearer mark than the others, suggesting a new horseshoe. The prints themselves suggest cheap athletic wear, as opposed to the high-class horseshoes of runners. The stallion is walking all the time, probably his trade, but he's definitely not an athlete. His stride is too slow for that. He's young, in his 20s. I know that because while he walks slower, you can see by this puddle here that he has taken an enormous stride to step over it, and resumed walking normally. Most stallions would struggle.
Dude,
with
I think that's a little bit of a
and
leap
he is light on
in
his
logic.
feet, so he must be young and sprightly.
But the cigar.
I pride myself that I can recognize the ash of 200 different brands of tobacco by smell and color.
I'm back in the chair.
But his hair color.
Well, that's simple. I found his hair on the ground. The longer
Huh.
strands are clearly from the mane. I knew the coat and mane color myself, you, Booksmart, and the 2 constables there, and the dead body, of course, so I could imagine the only remaining pony in the room must be the murderer, and the hair must belong to him.
That's simple enough, but what about rock?
I think it was a ploy to keep the police busy, which means nothing to this case.
But who would write a Germanian word on the wall if not some pony from St. Germain?
Germanians write their A's differently, my dear doctor. A true Germanian would never make such a mistake.
Why didn't you tell Booksmart?
If it was meant to keep the force busy, I say we let it do so. That will give us
And
enough
I
time
say
to solve
let
the
it
case.
die.
So what's next?
Next, we should make an effort to find this Earth Stinger fellow. I believe he is probably our Black Spade's secretary.
Why do you think that?
2 letters, dated 1 day apart. Only a lover or a secretary would keep in touch that closely, and the wording wasn't affectionate at all.
So
Okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I don't think I like this audio drama that much. Like, it's written fine. It's just, it's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. This audio drama is kind of boring. Like, not really anything has happened in this episode so far, and like, I don't know, there's just not really many charming moments to really kind of keep me through the slow beginning here, because I know they're probably gonna build up, go faster pace, hit me more with like the the intense, I wouldn't say actiony, but like intense story stuff with like, you know, murder and everything. But you know, right now it's just it feels really really slow, boring, just too slow of pacing, and again, there's not much happening. Like what has happened so far? We've had Shercolt moving in with the chemist. The chemist learning Shercolt is a god, or at least like a demon. They investigate a little bit, and Shercolt knows exactly what the murderer looks like, just from a few little details. And now they're talking, and it's been 25 minutes.
So how can we find Stinger if the force hasn't yet?
Come now, Doctor. We can do better than the Canterlot police force. I have my own secret police.
They're not as entertaining as the police force, though. I would rather be eating donuts.
Mr. Holmes, what are we waiting for?
You'll see.
But why can't you tell me? We've been waiting half an hour.
I suspect you'll only have to wait 10 more seconds.
10 more seconds. Girlfriend?
Boys, quiet.
Whoa, this is a
Dr.
child.
Johnson, I would like you to meet my secret police. I call them the Irregulars.
Nice to meet you, Doc.
Why, Mr. Holmes, these are
Secret
street beggars.
police.
Well, Doctor, that's a bit harsh. They work very hard for the money I pay them, don't you, boys?
Righto, Mr. Holmes.
For the sake of our housekeeper, though, perhaps, Wiggins, you should come up alone in the future. The poor dear sounds like she's about to have a heart attack. Well, here is your task, gentle colts. I need you to ask around and see if you can find the address of a stallion named Earthstinger. And one more thing. I have written here the description of a stallion. I need...
Okay, you know what? Here's something that this audio drama needs right now. Shercolt needs some sort of character arc right now, because, like, his character kind of feels a little surface level right now, I'm not gonna lie. He needs a little bit of deft right now. Depth. Yes, depth. You know, to kind of just put some interest factor in here, because you know, we're just seeing the Shercolt and the Stewart just kind of connecting here. While it's all good and fine, it's just not very interesting. Like I'm struggling to emotionally connect with these characters on either a relatable level or just I just like the characters, you know?
I need you to find him. I believe he is the cabbie who drove our murderer to the crime scene we just left. He probably doesn't even realize what the murderer has done, so don't alarm him. Merely find out his name and bring him to me.
You got it, Mr. Holmes.
Excellent, boys. I knew I could count on you. And here are your bits. Wiggins,
Okay,
you
they
split
get
it up
paid.
fairly. I shall know if you don't. Poor Mrs. Watson.
What was the screaming?
Carters. How did you find the description of the cab driver?
Child's play. I'll explain later. Now we need only wait.
So, Mr. Holmes, what do you get out of all this?
What do you mean?
Certainly the police pay you, but you must get more out of all this than that.
What more do I need? I like a good mystery.
But you don't seem to even want to take credit.
I've never taken credit in any of my other cases, so no, I won't this time either.
Is that not aggravating?
Doctor, there's something you should understand about me. Without a problem to solve, I feel my existence is wasted. My mind is like an engine whirring away with no fuel. I suppose, in a way, I'm addicted to it. There's so much injustice in the world. We strive toward harmony,
Agreed.
of course. The princess's example is always before us, Faust bless her. But there is such discordance, such disharmony.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
suppose
just you
if
wait,
I
man,
feel
just
I
you
have
wait.
harmonized it, even a little bit, then who gets the credit doesn't matter. I have enough money to live, and I have done some good, so that when I finally meet my maker, I can tell her that I tried to do some good with the life that she gave me.
I had been through so much
Did you
that
sacrifice
I
yourself?
learned a great deal about the mind of my companion. But that night, I learned about his soul. Beneath the cold preciseness of his deductions was a heart that I felt he kept hidden. Why? Who knows? But I felt honored that I was the pony in whom he confided his true intentions, in a way he would never express to Inspector Booksmart. The next day, I awoke to find Holmes standing over my bed.
Wakey, wakey. We
It's
have
a
visit to
prison.
make.
Are we certain we are heading for Stinger's home?
Stinger
see what I
Flynn?
Is that a...
Yo, you guys know Garden of Bandman? You know, just adding Choo Choo Tarls in, just be like, you know, what's a character? What's a scary character that we can add to the situation, make the situation more tense? We can make a completely new original monster. We could take an original monster, put our own spin on it, or let's just steal Choo Choo Charles. It makes perfect sense to me.
a police carriage?
I'm impressed. Booksmart was ahead of the game for once. Thank you, driver.
Holmes, I was just about to send for you.
Congratulations, Inspector.
Have you detained Earth Stinger already?
No, I'm afraid there's no reason to detain him now.
Murderer beat us here, Mr. Holmes.
Is this doctor fellow going to be a regular fixture from now on?
Probably.
Booksmart, have you moved the body?
No, I left it just as we found it, but you won't find much.
Doctor, wait. What? Look at the carriage tracks.
A tire slipped on one of the wheels. It will need replacing.
Carriage
The back
tracks.
left. Interesting.
Now, if we can't find the first cabbie, we can certainly find the second.
Huh.
We shall see. Once again, no blood. Therefore, he had to be poisoned.
There's less evidence than last time.
I see that. Same hoof prints, no hair, but... Inspector, you don't smile like that for no reason. What have you found?
We were on the ball today, Mr. Holmes. These are what I found. 2 small white pills.
Fascinating.
Two smile wall pills.
Have you had time to test them yet?
No, but we are going to, unless you would like to take it back to your lab.
I want to eat a small
Right,
white
Booksmart.
pill.
What do you think they could be?
I imagine it's probably the poison, but I will need to test to be sure.
Shall we return home?
Yes. In fact, Booksmart, why don't you come along as well to see my conclusions? You seem like you could use a cup of tea.
Well, the constables do seem to have everything under control here.
Excellent. Come along then.
We returned to Baker Street, and Holmes tested both pills, once we were interrupted by young Wiggins.
Wiggins, my lad. What is it?
We couldn't find the cabbie, sir.
That's fine, Wiggins. I'll tell you what. I do have more to give you that may help your task. I am looking for a cabbie who had his back left tire replaced this morning. Find out his name and then request that his agency send him to Baker Street. I shall need a cab, and I specifically want this stallion as a driver. Don't fail me, Wiggins.
I won't let you down, Mr. Holmes.
Okay.
With that, Wiggins left, and the three of us,
Hey, Wiggins.
myself, Holmes, and Booksmart, sat in the living room for some hours. Eventually, after our housekeeper had brought us all dinner, Booksmart and I began to talk quietly, not wanting to disturb Holmes's work.
Don't think.
Guys, you guys remember the heroic tale of heroically heroic heroes, episode 2? You guys remember that? You know, like pretty much the last couple videos I did. Remember how I was falling asleep during like the last sections of those videos? It's happening again, dude. I freaking can't, man. I don't understand what is going on anymore. I I've rarely ever had this problem with horror videos. It's happened like twice in like the past year and a fourth of doing reaction videos. Like, why must I just become a silent potato and struggle to not fall asleep with my eyeballs? Just like stop. Just be a noisy jetpack so I won't sleep.
I think Holmes is your friend, Doctor.
Why wouldn't I think that?
So yeah, I have no idea what's been
Why do
happening
you
for like
think
the
he
past
doesn't
5
take
minutes.
credit for his cases? He doesn't like attention. He doesn't like friends. I've invited him to dinner several times, and he always turns me down. He loves his science and his books and his mysteries, but he don't like ponies, Doctor.
Okay, it's the
He seems like a good
science
fellow.
guy,
Don't set yourself up to get
steward that doesn't put any credit.
Well,
Interesting. One of these pills is poisonous, while the other is harmless.
what does it mean?
Oh,
Well, it means that an unexpected fact is still a help, not a hindrance. There are 3 possibilities, but I think we should wait to say anything.
you could
definite
take the red
until our
pill,
killer is
pretend all of this
But how can we catch
it
him?
was stupid
Haven't seen
and
anything about how
and
we get our business.
fake, and it all goes
I
away.
expect you to arrest him
Or you
tonight.
could take the
Booksmart.
blue pill,
You can't be serious.
and you would have taken the blue pill.
Come in, Wiggins.
The
Hi,
car's waiting
Wiggins.
outside, Mr. Holmes.
I shall need
Uh-oh.
some help with my
Not the
bags,
fuzz.
Wiggins. Please, send the driver up.
Right you are, Mr. Holmes.
If you wouldn't mind, stay quiet for just a moment.
Are we gonna smack the officer? Gonna do something here?
Hello, sir.
Hello, mate.
sir.
Sir, you are under arrest for the murder of Black Spade and Earthstinger.
Oh, it's that
I've got you.
guy.
You got me.
It's rare I'm surprised, I must confess. That surprises me.
Come along then, to the station with you.
Actually, if
Oh.
it's all the same to you, Booksmart, can we take his statement here? I shall rather like to hear it myself.
Very well. Sit down there, you criminal slime.
Well, that was fast.
What is your name?
My name is Oaksy. I'm from Shrocknow.
Not Baltimore?
I moved there about 10 years ago.
Is this yours?
That's me Penny's ring. Please, may I have it back?
I see no reason you can't. The ring does belong to him, Booksmart.
I suppose if you say it's safe, Mr. Holmes.
Now,
So he's not going to
Mr.
jail?
you've confirmed
Can
my
I go to
suspicion
jail?
that
I'm gonna
this
go
was
to
a crime
jail.
of passion for a mare. What specifically drove you to murder?
Well, mister, it's a long story.
I should warn you that it will be used against you in court, young man.
Just casually, oh, well, I warn you, it is a long story, of how I murdered this pony. I'm not sure if you want to hear about it, because it's kind of long, but the lengths I'll go to murder. Am I right, guys? High five. For legal reasons. That was a joke. Yes.
I won't be going to court. Don't look so worried, Corper. I'm not gonna kill myself. I have an aortic aneurysm, which as of yet, magic can't heal.
Doctor,
What?
check him. Is it true?
Yes, his heart rate is wildly erratic. Celestia, man, you are a walking time bomb. That's what my doctor told me. It's been bothering me for years. But the doc said it was doubtful I'd live till the end of the week. Tomorrow is Thursday. So I killed him, you see. Let me go back.
What?
About 5 years ago, my wife and my father-in-law were killed. My father-in-law done some deals with the mafia of Baltimore. Couldn't repay his debts. My
Okay.
wife was staying at
Mafia.
his own while I was away.
Hat and
Came
tie.
back. There had been raids and all but 2 of the mafia ended up in jail. The love of my life was dead. I couldn't let that go. But Stinger and Black Spade had killed him, but they managed to escape prison because of a lack of evidence. And they was the only ones to elude justice. I couldn't have that. So I followed them, all the way to Canterlot. And I got a job as a cabbie. Every day I would wade through assignments, trying to find the perfect way to kidnap him and bring him to justice myself. Last week, my doctor told me I had 1 week, so I threw caution to the wind. The same night, I followed Black Spade from alehouse to alehouse. Then I drove up to offer him a ride. He was tipsy.
You know, I can imagine. Like, you have like a game like Subnautica, or just like a game that has like a lot of underwater section. I don't know why I pictured underwater section, even though I was mainly picturing land. But you have like a high jump character, and then you place the character on top of the high jump character, and they both kind of jump, and you get extra height. Where am I going with this? Why did I start talking about this? Yeah, no, duh. Of course, if you put a character on top of a character that jumps, yeah, the jump height is going to be different. Why did I say that? Gosh, man. I'm gonna say the cliche thing and say, can you guys tell I'm tired? Because I can.
Dark in my face. Last week, I'd driven Mare around a row of houses in Luna Gardens. She dropped a key and I made a copy before turning it in. So I took him there, knowing out of a deserted street to do me business on.
Now, why did you make them choose between 2 pills?
Choose?
My goddess, you are a smart one. I'm no cold-blooded killer, sir. I let him in by knife point, but I wasn't to kill him. I wanted revenge, but I didn't have the strength to murder any pony. Not with my aneurysm. I always knew that I would create 2 pills. A harmless powder capsule and a poisonous capsule. Both identical. Then, sitting on the floor, I forced Black Spade to choose his capsule, and I would take the other. This way, you see, I know it'd been Faust's will that I have me revenge. He chose, and after he took his, I took mine. Panic caused my nose to bleed. I was right. It was the goddess's will. Faust herself created right and wrong. So how could it not be her will? I've never been so overjoyed as the moment I saw his panic and fear as he fell back, gasping and trying to hang on.
Oh my god, what? Whoa.
But the word
It
rock,
was too back then.
how could it not be a political crime? Surely you are a Germanian extremist. Why else would you write it?
In truth, I hadn't planned to. But as my nose bled, I remembered in Baltimore that a gang of Germanians who had been rivals with the mafia.
I'm not sleeping, shut up.
Mafia crony. I thought it'd be an additional salt in the wound if I got back to Baltimore Penitentiary that the Germanians had won. Also, it would throw you off, Inspector.
So that explains the blood everywhere, and the word on the wall. But what about the ring?
Oh, best part. He couldn't remember me. So I pulled out my wife's ring and showed it to him. And immediately he knew death had come for him. But I dropped the ring when I went to replace it in my pocket. I couldn't leave.
Wow, really?
I just didn't
Just
die
like
to
that?
lose me Penny's ring. So I came back to the house, but the constable was already walking down.
I'm at like a 2 to
Quickly,
3
I
seconds
turned
delay
the cider I had with me to take the egg
for my brain to
out of my
catch up.
chest, dumped it down my shirt, hoping he would smell the alcohol and think I was just a poor drunk.
It worked.
If Officer Bagstand had only taken him in.
But there's more. You tracked down Earth Stinger.
Yes, in the same way.
He's the stain
I'd
maker.
read about Black Spade's murder in the paper and went out to get drunk. He made it so simple for me. I picked him up like before, but I had to take him back to his home, which was on the other side of town. The cobblestones on the street caused me to break one of the tires, and I almost ruined my plan. I let him get to his door and then caught up to him with the knife. I allowed him to choose. As Black
Dude,
Spade
this is such a long story, Jesus.
The knife Faust herself chose his death. No pony's that lucky. Finally,
I feel like I'm being too harsh on this audio drama right now. For those unfortunate souls, Little Mermaid, anybody? But for those poor unfortunate souls that have seen to this point, am I being too harsh on this audio drama for calling it kind of a boring, bland kind of thing right now because I'm really feeling it right now. I'm feeling the effects of it. I'm like, dude, oh man.
Finally, I returned home.
Probably my fault. Probably
I
my
found
fault.
I'd
I'm
lost my
sorry.
final set of pills.
Who are they for? A final victim?
Yeah, a final victim.
Yourself. Isn't that right, Mr. Seed?
Yeah. I was gonna see if it was divine providence's wish that I die of me aneurysm, or die the same horrific death I'd inflicted on them. It's only fair I'd be given the same choice. Well, that is very honourable of you. I suppose this Faust's
Thank
road is
you.
clear. So I dropped the bag. Been carrying that back for 5 years. Never dropped it once.
Well, I think that's enough, don't you, Booksmart?
It's a clear enough statement.
It's clear enough. Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's pretty thorough.
So I won't be remembered as some common killer.
It's a shame that you will not live to see your acquittal.
What?
No jury would ever have convicted you for what you did. Not when they have heard this.
Come on, young man. I have to take you to the police station. We'll make sure you are comfortable.
Thank you, Mom.
Yes, Mom. That is definitely a country thing. Different country thing.
So ended our very first mystery together. Oakseed died that very night in his prison cell.
What?
According to Booksmart, he died with a smile on his face.
What? He died?
I think he
Wait,
did.
he was the one who died?
Maybe I was simply a hope.
And so we have our first death of the series. I thought it was going to be Adeline, but no, it was just Oakseed. What? I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what happened during that story that I'm assuming Oakseed was talking about. The murderer, right? It was Oakseed. Again, yeah. My fault. I'm sorry. No, what? No, I blame the day and being tired. I blame my brain and my emotions to feel tired. I'm gonna blame that. You know, if I wasn't trying not to fall asleep, then I would have listened to the thingy. Also, just to clear things up, I'm not saying that I'm falling asleep because of this audio drama, because that is not the case. It's not the audio drama that's making me fall asleep. It's just life in general is making me fall asleep. Being a human being is weighing me down. I should not have to sleep. I should be able to stay awake for my whole entire life. You hear that? You hear that? Real estate? You hear that, State Farm? Give me the pink khakis of untiredness morality.
A hopeless romantic, and that the idea of his revenge had struck me in a soft spot. But seeing Holmes have the same reaction gave me hope that perhaps it is the feeling of compassion most ponies would have after hearing his tale. That day, after hearing of his death, Holmes and I sat at the dining table eating our lunch, and he suddenly spoke, bringing me out of my thoughts.
So, how did you enjoy your little study?
My study.
Steady.
Yes, your study of the scarlet thread of murder running through the skein of life.
Yes,
Our duty
Stuart.
to unravel it and isolate
Stuart
it and
Bigger.
expose every inch of it.
I found it highly illuminating. In fact, I wish I could learn more about your methods, Mr. Holmes.
You can if you want to.
I mean, I can accompany you on other cases.
Assistant.
I read a dissertation by
Sherlock
Princess
Holmes and
Stevens,
his faithful assistant.
in which she claimed the pursuit of friendship is the noblest pursuit. She said that all knowledge and pursuit of goodness was only possible through friendship. I've never had many friends, but I think you understand me.
Brother, I don't understand anything. Shut up.
Well, thank you, my dear Trotson.
That is the story of how I began a lifelong study in mystery, crime, and murder at the hands of my teacher, my best friend, and the wisest stallion I have ever known. Shercolt Homes.
Certainly a lot of background noise happening right now. I don't know what's going. Oh, Brooke, if you're watching this right now, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry. I don't want to call it boring, and I hate that that's all I can really say right now because of my tiredness. I really hate that. Because again, it's not bad. Like it's not a bad audio drama. Like I don't have the energy to be like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. My brain just like, my brain is just wanting me to sleep, and you're probably just like, oh, just do your videos during the day. No. Shut up. I will not do my videos during the day. I'm sorry, but I will not. I just will not. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go not pass out, but I'm gonna go sink into the deep world that is the covers.